Hello, everybody. We are doing the rant. We're doing it live on the internet, and right after the Cubs game. And yeah, we're going to try to do it in 30 minutes. So that's going to be a new thing for us. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that, but we do have a couple topics. Yeah, should be good. We have a couple topics we want to talk about. First things first, though, let's just talk about the West Coast swing if we get right into it. Listen, the Cubs just lost the game to San Diego Padres. It was disappointing, and we could break that down if we wanted to. But in the full scope of things, the Cubs went 3-3 on this road trip, which to me is a pretty good result against the Dodgers and the Padres, two teams that are really good, two of the best teams in baseball so far, and have a combined record of what I want to say they have a combined record of 28-10, and half of those losses have come from the Cubs. And so while it sucks, yeah, it's solid. And so while it sucks that the Cubs did just lose and how they lost and all those things, without really magnifying that, I think stepping back and looking at the West Coast swing in general, man, it was solid. I mean, they had a chance to win today. They were in all the games against the Padres. And so it really felt like they played good baseball and that they're really going out there and competing.
Yeah. I mean, we've said all along, right? They're 500 with this. I think if they go into May at 500 or better, they've absolutely been pummeled by this schedule, but they are holding their own and beating good teams, which someone, Jacob, reminded you of in the Facebook comments that said it didn't age well when you said the Cubs needed to beat good teams all the way back in Japan. I was like, no, still true. I mean, they still need to beat good teams. And they did, right? They held their own. Again, that's and you mentioned the records, Sean, but San Diego has still only lost one game at home, and it's when the Cubs beat them yesterday. That's their only home loss. They were undefeated when they came to Wrigley, right? So I mean, they're playing really, really good baseball. And again, the Cubs without Justin Steele, right? I mean, that could have been an emotional blow. I'm very, very pleased, honestly, with the 3-3 swing.
Yeah. No, it's positive, and I think a positive and a negative of that Padres series is game 1 and game 3, you you easily could have won. So on one hand, it's, hey, we could have gone 5-1, so that's good that they showed the promise. On the other hand, they could have gone 5-1, and it felt like all 3 of these games were really toss-ups. And so, there's some positive there of, hey, we could have swept the series, but it's okay. And the other one is, oh man, there was some real negatives. The Cubs did not play great this series, but it was enough to win a game. I mean, yesterday for Tuesday's game, I said the Cubs did not deserve to win this game. And everyone's saying, no, the Padres didn't deserve to. The Cubs did not deserve to win that game after the multiple errors and just poor communication and poor execution throughout the game. Neither team deserved to win. I mean, if we're being honest, after the performance of last night's game, it should have ended in a tie or giving both teams a loss because both teams just played horribly. And
but that's not how it works.
It's not. And thankfully, because we ended up getting the win, but there were plenty of good signs from the series, including the offense continually came back. But then there were negatives, including the fact that this bullpen, while it's improved, is still walking every hitter possible. I mean, Matthew Boyd was fantastic today, but Luke Little was atrocious. He was atrocious.
4 walks, 2 outs. That's not going to play.
Yeah.
No, it's not. And it was 1-1, and then Padres took the lead, and then they were up by 2 runs because of Manny Machado. I believe it was a walk. I don't remember the exact situation. I wasn't able to watch 100% of the game, but okay, now we're down by 2. PCA hits a home run. It's, imagine if we hadn't given up that last run. It's like the inconsistency from the bullpen. It's either they're lights out or they forget how to throw a baseball.
Well, and we'll get to this, but the Cubs made several roster moves this week, which we saw the result of today with Daniel Palencia and Luke Little going in there. I thought Palencia looked great, all things considered, and Little looked terrible.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of been the knock on Palencia in the past is that he hasn't been able to locate, right? Like the dude throws really hard, and so does Little. Like they drafted Luke Little based on a viral video where he was throwing 105, with the pocket radar, granted, but he's obviously calling, that was going a little bit ham, and he doesn't throw nearly like that regularly. But I think the thing is, like, when you see these guys, nobody's trying to walk people, contrary to like Rick Sutcliffe extolling the umpire last night. He was like, see, Shota doesn't want to throw. He doesn't want to walk people. He's not trying to throw balls. Why? I'm like, nobody wants to walk people, Sut. Like, the ump should just call strikes because this guy doesn't want to walk people. This is the dumbest thing I've heard in a while. But it feels like Little is out there trying not to walk, trying not to throw balls, and as a result, he's kind of aiming a little, being a little fine or a little cute. And I thought Palencia just went out there and attacked. Like, that's when you throw triple digits, that's what you need to do, Nate Pearson. Go just blow somebody away. And if they turn around and they hit it into the seats, good for them. They beat you. But don't beat yourself. That's I don't care. Like, give me a reliever who just hangs one and gets it taken out versus a dude who cannot throw strikes and gives like 5-pitch walks to 3 guys in a row.
Well, and we discussed this last episode. I want to say it was the last episode. We said that. We said the exact thing. Or maybe it was just us talking after a game. But we would rather the Eli Morgan, he throws it in the zone and it gets taken 500 feet compared to Nate Pearson where he forgets how to throw strikes. And there's a point in time where I understand not wanting to throw it down the middle. But you're a major league pitcher. You should be able to find the zone. Or you're in the major leagues, so you're somewhat of a major league pitcher. You have to find the zone. Even if, like you said, they're throwing it down the middle, at least you are finding the zone. You cannot keep walking people when like 90% of our walks are the first batter or the 9-hole, it seems. Like, we're not walking Fernando Tatis. We're not walking Manny Machado. No, we're walking Gavin Sheets, who's done well, but we're walking Jason Hayward. We're walking these guys
that
at the
can't
bottom
happen.
of the order.
The Jason Hayward walk, that was awful.
It can't.
You got to attack him.
It just can't.
He's not going to hurt you. He's not going to do damage.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, yeah, it was a little frustrating to watch. But again, stepping back, and I know it's hard to do this, but listen, we've got to do it. It's a 162 game season. And so it's important to keep perspective on things.
Sure.
And the reality is the Cubs just went 3-3 against the Dodgers and the Padres in what will be their hardest road trip of the year. And I think that's great. I think there were some real positives to take away. I think the bullpen looked terrible on Monday. And then Nate Pearson and Eli Morgan were ushered out on Tuesday. And then Tuesday things looked great. I mean, the bullpen looked amazing, right? And the Cubs used how many pitchers on Tuesday? 1, 2, 3, 5 guys out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
And none of them gave up a run. And so, you see that type of a performance, and then
just
then
today,
one walk,
right? I think there's just one walk from the bullpen out of that whole group.
I believe so.
Like,
there was one walk by Tealbar.
Shocking. Throw strikes. Good things can happen.
Palencia, Merriweather, Hodge, Presley, and Tealbar, right? I mean, the only guy we've seen struggle there so far, is Tealbar, really. I mean,
yeah, and that's the thing, when the two of them got demoted / placed on the IL, everybody's like, there's one more that's got to go. And it's like, hey, man, he was nails the other day. So there's little things that can change. I think
he's got such a funky motion and the way he throws that curveball.
I mean, it'll and all those things they can work but like you said, the thing is, it was all their other high leverage guys, right? Like all the guys you want out there. And that's the only thing that does bug me, is that it feels very much, and this is when Jacob and I did the show without you, John, a while back, it was after another bullpen implosion, and we were kind of getting a little complainy, getting a little whiny about it. Certainly I was, at least. But it does feel, and maybe you guys can heat check me on this, but I feel like either all of their high leverage guys, their top high leverage guys, are available, or none of them are. It's not like you've got kind of a split, right? It's like Craig's either got to lean on all of them or none of them. And I think that's where we get, again, the either very bad or very good. There's not that nice middle consistent ground because they so far have not had a consistent rotation of relievers that Counsell can rely on and call upon, back-to-back days.
Yeah, I think when you look at Little coming in for essentially like Pearson or Morgan, he really didn't do any better than they did.
He basically was just channeling Nate Pearson out there is what it felt like.
He came in to face two lefties, and he walked both those lefties and then two other batters as well. The bullpen only gave up 1 run in the whole Dodgers series, so that was good. Like I said, we won 3 games in this road trip, and for the games that we lost, we kept it close for all 3 games. So we put up a fight with the Dodgers and the Padres. Like, that's good. That's impressive. What you mentioned, Evan, about having either all of your good guys ready or all of them down, it sort of reminds me of how managers have, and I think Dave Roberts had mentioned doing this last postseason, forfeiting a game per se, and being like, okay, if we get down a little, I'm not going to bring in my guys. I'm going to save them for the next game. Kind of feels like maybe Counsell's going with that strategy in a sense, because he wants to make sure, hey, if we're up 1 run, I want Keller, Merriweather, Hodge to be able to go 1, 2, 3 and secure that win. But this offense has the talent to come back. They've done it before. And so there's some debate on whether that's the most logical and successful way to go about the bullpen management. But you can see it doesn't matter who you throw out there. Their odds are they're going to walk someone. Like the walks from this bullpen and the pitching staff in general, they're walking the first batter of the inning so often. I'm going to have to find the exact number, but it just seems like no matter what, there's a guy on base with no outs every single inning. And that is a recipe for utter disaster.
Looks like John might be frozen. We knew he was having internet issues, but yeah. And I mean, that's the issue. Like even worse, right? It's like, how bad is it to walk the leadoff guy?
I can hear you.
Oh, there you go. How bad is it to walk left on left? How bad is it to walk Jason Hayward? Like that is the trifecta of the worst way possible to ever start an inning. Left on left, walking Jason Hayward. Awful.
Well, it's not like, hey, we're bringing in a lefty to face Juan Soto. You walked him. Okay, that's okay. It's Juan Soto. It's Jason Hayward. He's hitting like 170, if that.
Yeah. But hey, the other thing I want to bring up is just real quick is like PCA looks like he's figured it out, right? It's so odd. Maybe it's just a Facebook thing. He has got still so many haters among Cubs fans. Like there's people I feel like who want this dude to fail, and I don't understand it. And so it's like when he was doing poorly, all these people are coming out, oh, he's cocky, he sucks, he should take the money. And then he does well. Oh, it's flash in the pan. He's only speed. I'm like, he's got 3 homers. They're not cheapies. The dude he's like top 20 in Major League in WAR. Like he's playing really well. He's not just a speed and defense guy. But even if he's mostly that, all he's got to do is be a league average hitter. And I firmly believe he can be better than a league average hitter. If he's at a 115 to 120 WRC plus, he's a 6 to 7 WAR player. It's insane. But it's more insane that I feel like a large, maybe not a large, but a portion of Cubs fans not only don't believe in him, but like actively dislike him, which is just bonkers to me.
That's nonsense.
I've been looking at Facebook too much. Sorry.
Nonsense.
Yeah.
So listen,
we
need to move on.
Don't ever take anything away from Facebook.
We have a limited amount of time here, so we've got to move. I got to keep it moving, baby.
Keep this train on the tracks. Let's go.
One thing I wanted to talk about was the roster moves that were made. I think it's important to kind of break those down, and we already kind of touched on those, but it's like Luke Little didn't, listen, he was up and then back last year, and he did not look like, he's going to stick around very long. And so what was encouraging to me is the Cubs actually made the roster moves. Is like, I think everybody was like, whoa, Nate Pearson got to go. Eli Morgan, not good. And they quickly made those moves. And so that was really good and encouraging to see. Now, whether those moves work out, I think Palencia looked good. And maybe Little does too, but he kind of, that was tough today. What do you think about Shaw going back down?
Again,
inevitable.
He was struggling.
it was going to happen. If he had continued it, I would have just as soon seen them keep him up. But I think some of the issues, and it's a confidence thing. I think when you look at some of how he's attacked, like, and I wrote something about this, like the number of first pitch, it was like he was seeing almost 58% first pitch strikes, which is a really high number, much higher than he ever saw in the minors. He was not swinging nearly as much at pitches in the zone. So while I would love to compliment his high walk rates, like 14.7%, it's, I think, 85th percentile or something like that. It's very high. But I think part of the reason he was walking so much was because he was a little bit afraid, is probably the wrong term.
Yeah,
but
he's looking
too hesitant to pull the trigger. And he was just taking a ton of pitches. He was taking a lot of walks, but he was also taking a ton of. It reminded me of when Kyle Schwarber would get in a funk, when he would just take and take and take. You're like, Kyle, swing it, strike two. Like, that's a dick ball. You're like, go. And that's, I think, where Shaw was. So it's still there. I would love to have seen him work it out, because that's a byproduct of this very, very difficult schedule, is the Cubs are facing a bunch of really good pitchers. Those pitchers know they can beat this kid in the zone. He needs to then get the confidence that, wait a minute, if they throw me a strike, I can punish this. But the one last thing I will say is, it's so funny to me that people are getting their first looks at him and be like, oh, that batting stance is so weird. No wonder he can't hit. I'm like, folks, this guy was one of the best hitters in college baseball, one of the best hitters in minor league baseball. It's not his batting stance that is causing the problem. It's that he's taking strike one right off the bat, literally, and then he's putting himself in a hole. He batted, when he was down 0-1, his batting average is .097. So you're like .098, whatever, right? That's the issue. If he did, like, remember when Seiya Suzuki got in his funk and the whole thing was, hey, sit down for a couple days, go out there and be more aggressive. If Shaw had swung at more first pitches, I don't think he gets sent down. So it's not a matter of talent. It's a matter of just getting his head right. So the same thing, look at Kyle Tucker. This round from Shaw is better than what Tucker did when he first came up for a little while with the Astros. It's better than what Anthony Rizzo did when he first came up with the Padres. Not saying they're the same people. Yeah. Just saying that it's fine, and I think Shaw will be just perfectly all right.
He was striking out 26.5% of the time as well. So it's like,
isn't that bad when you like, they let Morel stay around and Patrick Wisdom with much worse. But no,
it's much higher than his historical strikeout rate. Yes. I guess is my point, right? Like, normally he's been well under 20%.
Yep.
And so, he that bumped up last year in AAA. Like, he saw his highest strikeout rate at AAA. So maybe it's not to be, unexpected completely that his strikeout rate bumped up again now that he went up to the major leagues.
Yeah. And Alex Cohen, he had a tweet about this yesterday that I'm sure most of Cubs Twitter saw. It got around. He said, notable current and recent Cubs players who were optioned after their first cup of coffee in the big leagues: Kyle Tucker, Anthony Rizzo, Kyle Schwarber, Ian Happ, Nico Horner, and Pete Crow Armstrong. That's a pretty solid group of players, and that's just Cubs related. So, it does stink because of all the hype surrounding this guy. We talked with Brett Bateman the other day on our podcast with him, who he knows Shaw, and he said he has no doubt in his mind that Shaw will get back up better than ever. And him, other scouts, everybody that I've talked to about this guy says he has one of the best work ethics they've ever seen. He is determined to the game, and he will do whatever it takes to get better. So it's more just a mindset thing. And like you said, Evan, poor timing that, hey, you're starting the big leagues. Here's the best pitchers that baseball has to offer. Yeah. It's not, hey, you
the best teams every once in a while. It's
Cy Young candidate after Cy Young, like it's ace after ace after ace after ace. In this Dodgers, with the Padres again, with the Diamondbacks. Yeah. Like, he had to see some dudes. And so, it's disheartening. I wouldn't think he's down for more than a month. And you look at that Iowa Cubs team, that's another positive, is that team's going to be so much fun with Shaw in it as well.
Yeah. If you got a chance to go out and see Iowa, go take it. The Cubs head back home to Wrigley Field. And the schedule does not get any easier. They've got 3 against. It's nice because they've got a day off. Then they've got 3 against the Dbacks, all day games. Beautiful, just beautiful. And then Monday off, and then 2 against the Dodgers, both night games, and then Thursday off and then 3 against the Phillies, and then Monday off. So they've got, that's crazy. Like, you never see that. They've got 3 series at home. They've got a day off bookending every single series. And so, man, it's a tough road for them. They split against Arizona in Arizona. And so we'll see how they play against them at Wrigley. And then the Dodgers, obviously, they'll be done with the Dodgers. They'll be done with the Padres. Woohoo! They'll be done with the Dbacks. And so that's great. Tough road, but feels pretty good.
Yeah. And the timing, and this is another thing, I think I mentioned this in the lineup post, maybe they don't have to go with the 5th starter until May 3rd in Milwaukee. If they want to play it that way, if Craig counts, and they'll all be able to pitch, they can stay with 4 starters from this point forward. They'll all be on regular rest or 1 extra day. I think maybe Ben Brown is the one. There's a couple of them that will get actually 2 turns on extra rest, again, without having to use a 5th. So if you don't, Colin Ray's still not completely stretched out. Javier Assad is, he just made a rehab start last night in Iowa that looked decent. So you've got him waiting in the wings for when that changes. But the other thing, it impacts exactly what we talked about earlier, not having all your bullpen guys ready. The fact that you've got all these days off gives Counsell a much better chance to give his bullpen guys rest, be able to play more of the high leverage guys and go with that. But it's like they're home. But again, Diamondbacks are good. Dodgers are good. Then you got to play the Phillies, right? Finally a team from the East, and then eventually they will get into some divisional matchups. You get the Pirates and the Brewers. So thankfully, I'm looking forward to that. Part of me doesn't like all the days off because it's just weird for us, for what we do, as far as how the timing and the cadence of everything goes. But I do like it with the timing, particularly with Steele being gone and them trying to figure some extra things out. I really think this stretch of the schedule could not have come at a better time.
Yeah, no, May's tough, but like you said, get it out of the way. Cool. After the hardest month any team will have, we have the easiest month any team will have. You mentioned that May schedule. I mean, we face a lot of after the first week and a half, we face a lot of really bad teams. So I say that, and then we'll not do well against them just because I jinx everything. But theoretically, we should do fairly well. So that is a nice little cushion after this just gauntlet and we're still one of the best teams in baseball. Constantly all of these media outlets are putting us near the top of the power rankings, which is really exciting to see. But then they don't mention, hey, the Cubs are facing the best teams in baseball, and even though they're near 500, they are beating these teams in convincing fashion. It's not, there are some close wins, but that Dodgers 16-0 win still sticks out to me because it was 1-0 in the 6th inning, and then they blew it open. I know a few of those runs are off position pitcher, but still, shutting out the Dodgers. Shutting out the Dodgers is really
11
good.
weren't.
So,
I think that's the bigger key, right? The 0 that the Dodgers put up to me is more important than the 16 the Cubs did because they went out there and just shoved against them. I tell you what, I don't know that I've seen a better game plan against an individual pitcher than the way they went after Shohei Ohtani. Just absolutely attacked him. Every pitcher that went out there seemed to have the book on him and execute it. And that's the key, right? You can know how to attack somebody, but then to go out and execute. Now, it was close. I had somebody accuse me of being negative when Ben Brown, shocker, I was like, because Brown gave up what should have been a bomb, but it was foul, and then another really loud out deep to him. Oh, you're being negative. I'm literally stating a fact of what just happened. Ohtani just missed a homer and then just got under one a little bit. But the thing is, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. The Cubs, when they play the way they can, are creating a lot of their good fortune and pushing that bad fortune to the other team. And that's what we saw in 15, 16, 17. It's what we haven't seen as much the last few years when their margins for error were so slim that things could just go, coin flip. Now they're taking some of that into their own hands, which is really, really nice to see again, especially with Steele down, with some of the other guys nicked up. We saw them come back with Suzuki and Kelly today. God, do I love watching them play shorthanded. It's awesome. Happens at least 5 times a year. But, so feel good about it. Back at Wrigley, afternoon games. No more of this West Coast crap till August 22nd. They don't have to play another late start till then.
That's what I'm so excited about is like today, my mom was like, when are you going to get some normal sleep? And I was like, when the Cubs stop playing so late. And I said, we don't play another game past like 7:10 until late August. And that is exciting, not just because it's easier. It's easier for us to cover. And then Evan, it's not as late for you either, but I can get normal sleep. Like I'm tired of the West Coast games, but I'm also glad that, like we said, they're getting these out of the way early. Like that's a positive of the schedule, I feel.
For sure.
Yeah, it's incredible. And you mentioned, just to go back to May. Yeah, I mean, it stays real tough, right? Like 3 games against the Brewers, 3 games against the Giants, 3 games against the Mets. And then it goes Marlins, White Sox. And the Marlins are actually playing all right. Marlins again, Reds, Rockies, Reds. And so, really feels like if the Cubs can just get through this month, and like we were saying in the last show, really is like get through this month. We were saying 500, weren't we? A couple games over 500, and that's basically where they are right now. They're 12-9, right?
Yeah. Just stay the course. Go 500 the rest of the month. Go into May a little bit above, and enter that week stretch at 500. There's an entire chance that they could sweep a couple of those series. It just kind of like don't get swept, I think, is where I'm at. I mean, they've been meatloafing most of these series, taking 2 out of 3, and obviously didn't quite get it done against the Padres. But if you do that, you hold your own against good teams, beat up on bad teams, you'll be fine at the end of the day. That's the thing that we didn't see them do enough of the past 2 years, was actually like they would just crumple for stretches at a time. And that's the one thing we have not seen, that they haven't laid down and died against anybody, which was the case like for weeks at a time. Yeah,
just stay afloat. That's really, even if you have to lose a series, that's fine. Just don't get swept. At least to be able to salvage 1 win a series, and we're going to be a really good ball team.
Yep. Cool. All right. Well, that does it for us today. That was quick. 30 minutes. We did it. Woohoo. Actually, 27 minutes and 24 seconds. We will circle back sometime next week. 3 against the Dbacks. Maybe we'll come back after that series. There's an off day in there, and then the lots of off days. Off days mean we have flexibility to be able to do more shows. So that's always a good thing. As always, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, all the places. Go to CubsInsider.com for all the information and exceptional writing by these guys here, and sometimes me, but usually these guys. And that's it. Have a good one, everyone.
Have a good night.